Recently, I had a conversation with a solo practice lawyer about a problem she was having in her business. Her client wanted to amend her retainer agreement with a provision that the client would have to approve all expenses before the expense was incurred. She just wasn't sure what to do about this. Well, if you've been watching my videos, you probably know what I told her, but my answer was simple. Do not agree to that. Now, here's the background. This is a lawyer who runs a contingent fee disability practice, and the client is not responsible for payment of any of the expenses unless the lawyer wins the case. Pertinent evidence in this type of case is medical records, and of course, there's a fee to obtain records. Now, frequently, you need to obtain these records in a hurry because you have a certain amount of evidence in the file, but as you're preparing for the hearing and you're getting closer to the hearing, you want to update the records, get all of the most recent records in the file for the judge to see. So time is of the essence in obtaining the evidence, and you don't have time to wait for a client to say yes or no. And more importantly, you can't get records based on what the client tells you you should or should not get. The important thing to remember was that this lawyer's business processes are not set up to have to wait for client approval to get certain pieces of evidence before moving forward. You have to get the evidence. And actually, under the rules for this particular case, you have to submit all of the evidence that's out there. So her business processes as a lawyer were set up to make sure that that happens. And her processes should not have been set up any other way. As a business owner, you have to design your business in a way that's efficient and that meets your goals for handling client matters. Hi, I'm Sharon Christie, founder and CEO of Bold Women Lawyers and author of the Bold Women Lawyers Solo Success Guide. As a solo practice lawyer for over 15 years, I can tell you, I faced this and similar problems more than once. A client didn't like the way I handled client matters, the way I processed cases. So what do you do? Well, I'll admit that once I actually did change our business process for one client, and that was a mistake I never repeated. But why did I do it? Why would you ever consider changing the way you do business for a client? You do it because of fear. I was afraid that if I lost that particular client, there would not be another one to take his place. I learned that acting out of fear is always a mistake. And I also learned that there are ways to make sure that only great clients are coming to you for help. There are ways to make sure that your clients are always on board with your business practices. So let's go back to the situation my friend was facing. What do you do in a situation like this? Well, you do have a choice. You can agree to whatever the client wants and create chaos in your business. Now, that's a bad choice. The good choice is this. You want to help the client understand how you handle matters and have reasonable expectations as you move through the case. In this particular instance, you would explain to the client the importance of obtaining all of the medical evidence and doing it as quickly as possible. You explain the importance of an efficiently run law firm to achieve the results that you and the client want. You talk to the client and explain to them the average costs of a case of this nature. Tell them that, in your particular case, every case is different. Your costs might be a little lower. They could be a little higher, but basically this is the range of costs that we see. You answer the client's questions and you tell the client, if he says, well, I'm still not comfortable with this, tell the client, you know what? I understand if you don't feel comfortable, but in my experience, this is the best way to successfully handle cases. That's why I do it this way. So you would tell the client, if they're still uncomfortable, you're just not a good fit for each other. You give him the number for lawyer referral, and you wish him all the best in his case. I'll tell you that most of the time, you never have to get to the point of giving out the number for lawyer referral. Once the client understands how you handle client matters and why it's important that they be handled the way that you describe, the client will relax. The client understands then that you know what you're doing and you will do a great job for him. But as I said, if after these explanations, the client still feels uncomfortable, then just accept that this client is not a good fit for you. He's better off finding another lawyer, and so are you. To run a successful solo or small firm law practice, you have to have business processes in place that allow you to efficiently and effectively handle your client matters. There are other key factors to having a successful practice. So if you're looking for a thriving six-figure plus business as a lawyer without sacrificing your sanity or your soul, go to my website at boldwomenlawyers.com and download my Bold Women Lawyers Solo Success Guide. You'll learn a lot by reading the guide. For example, you'll learn about the steps that I took to keep a steady stream of ideal clients coming to my law practice and how you can do the same thing. You'll learn how you can unburden yourself from all of those very important administrative tasks that need to be done to run a business, including a law practice, but that you shouldn't be doing because it's robbing you of the time you need to grow your practice. And if you already know you are ready to go deeper, to evaluate your practice and to learn how to solve your biggest problems, then a law practice intensive may be just what you're looking for. Go to my website and book a practice and profit audit with me today. You can do it at boldwomenlawyers.com. And let's see how we can work together to build the practice of your dreams. Now, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful to you. And don't forget to come back next week for another success tip.